Many people voting by mail this year. We wanted to see how long it would take for ballots to get from point A to point B.
So we tested the U.S. Postal Service ourselves. Check this out. 41 Action reporter Ariel Rothfield and her photojournalist Giovanni Garcia, they sent more than 100 envelopes from post office boxes around the metro. The locations right there are highlighted on this map. Our test comes as many, including the president, have questioned the Postal Service's ability to handle this increased volume.
Here's a look at what we discovered from the experiment.
Hi, how are you today?
It's an election year unlike any other. With an ongoing pandemic,
This lady will take you. Thank you very much.
advance and absentee voting lines are long. In Kansas City,
One of the most historic elections.
we met Stefan Singleton, who has never missed an election.
I really am so happy about that.
This year was going to be no different. Instead of voting by mail, Singleton voted absentee in person.
I think it's just so immensely important that you make sure that your vote gets to where it's supposed to go. If mailing it is the only way that you can do it, okay. But I know for me, my conscience is clear knowing that I saw it.
He's not alone in his fears about the Postal Service's reliability. Over the past few months, President Trump has raised concerns about voting by mail.
The universal mail-in ballots have turned out to be a disaster.
Despite the president's comments, mail-in ballot requests are at a record high, both in Kansas and Missouri. We wanted to test the mail to see how reliable the Postal Service is, so we rented a mailbox at the Brookside UPS store. First, we addressed envelopes, the average size of an election ballot, to ourselves from ourselves. Printed off labels and made sure each envelope had a stamp. Then we hit the road. Me, my photographer, and an associate producer. Dropping off 3 envelopes at 3 separate post offices in Kansas City, Jackson, Platte, Clay, Johnson, and Wyandotte counties. In total, we mailed 54 envelopes between 3 and 6 p.m. The next day, we sent another 54 for a total of 108 envelopes over 2 days. And then we checked our mailbox again.
UPS store can help you.
And again.
Let's see what we have in here.
45 of the 54 first-day envelopes came 2 days after we put them in the mail.
Quite a lot of ballots.
The remaining 63 arrived the next week, meaning we received all 108 ballots within 3 to 5 days. Not surprising, according to Wyandotte County Election Commissioner Bruce Newby.
And it's rare that it takes longer than that.
In Kansas, mail-in ballots can be returned in person or through the mail. If you opt to mail it back, your ballot must be postmarked by Election Day and received by the election office before 5 p.m. on the Friday after Election Day. Otherwise, your ballot will not be counted. During the August primary, 50 ballots arrived at the Wyandotte County Election Office too late.
Even though their standard is 3 to 5 days for first-class mail, these have top priority.
In Johnson County, the number of late ballots was even higher. 673 were not counted in August, which is why Ashley Harper decided to use a drop box for November's election instead.
I really wanted to do the drop-off because I thought it would be more secure and I would know that I was actually placing it.
Across the state line in Missouri, voters who request mail-in ballots must send them back through the Postal Service. They have to arrive at the election office by 7 p.m. on Election Day, meaning voters should mail them several days before. A road trip to rural Missouri and Kansas showed sometimes mail delivery can take more than a week. We dropped off 12 additional envelopes in Pleasant Hill, Lone Jack, Bucyrus, and Wellsville. 2 envelopes came back within 2 days. The rest took longer than a week, even though we sent them all the same day. Which is why election officials say no matter where you live, if you plan to vote by mail, fill out your ballots and mail it now.
This is something that I think is one of the most important things that you should have control over.
Reporting in Kansas City, Ariel Rothfield, 41 Action News.